Hey, what is happening, gamers? Welcome back into another Miitono video. As today I'm going to be showing you how to get Miitomo 2023 and answering questions based on what you guys have been questioning me on my channel when I've done Miitomo tutorials before. Getting Miitomo, of course, is going to be a very simple process because all you need is basically two specific simple links that are going to be in the link in the description. So I recommend you guys follow what the steps are going to be in today's video. Of course, before we begin, I would really appreciate if you guys subscribe, turn on post notifications, smash the like button because, again, if you guys want more video tutorials of any of these kinds, I would gladly help. Well, pretty much at this channel, so yeah, let's get into it. Here in the description, you can see that there is a download Kaeru Patcher App. So once you do, just click on it so that way you can get the downloaded file. So once you open it, you should get the app in which it's going to tell you to install. Once you open up the website, it should give you the link in which you should download Kaeru Patcher. Once you download it, open it, of course, and install it. Once it's installed, you have to open it and make sure that you allow all files in this place. As well, with not forgetting to download the actual app Miitomo, which is going to be an Apex link which is going to be from Google Drive. Make sure to download that place, download whichever account you want to use. Once the app is installed, do not press open immediately because if you do, it's not going to work. As I'm going to show you right now, because when you open it up, it's obviously going to give you an early start, which you do not want. What you want to go ahead and do is that you have to open up Kaeru Patcher. When you go into Kaeru Patcher, it's going to be version 1.6. Make sure that it's version 1.6 because it's one of the latest versions as to what Kaeru Patcher basically made for us to download. And there are going to be three specific patches that you want to use, which are going to be Kaeru Patcher Stable, Beta, and, well, Kaeru Dual Stable. For Miitomo, make sure you do Kaeru Stable, so that way it works. And at this point, it's going to be applying and verifying patches, which is going to take a while for it to pretty much process. At this point, it usually would take about 1 to 5 minutes. It really depends on your device to see how long it's going to take. For me, since I'm using a latest phone, it's pretty much going to take a few seconds. Since it's already at signing Apex link, it's pretty much almost there, which is already here. So once that finishes, pretty much install the app. You're going to have to go to settings, of course, so that you can enable a certain feature. And you want to update the app as well. So once you do open up Miitomo, make sure that when you open up Miitomo, there should be a specific link that tells you to sign into your Kaeru Stable account. This is the only way Miitomo is able to work for you is if you actually have the website link. So once you do have that, make sure you create your own, well, email account or whatever you want to use. I already have my own, so I want to use that to sign in. If you don't, you could just simply make one. And once you sign in, it should give you a sign in successful link. Once you finish that, you want to close in Miitomo, log back in again. If you receive a notification where it says new data is to be installed or being updated or whatever, pretty much you did everything right. It's gonna take some time, but since I already did that, I basically did it right. Of course, is how you get Miitomo. Of course, you're just gonna have to wait for the loading screen just to give you more of a full process to see that it actually works. So just give it some time. I will pretty much say that synchronizing data is gonna take a long time to pretty much process because if you have a lot of things based on what you've done in Miitomo, yes, of course it's gonna take long, but it's not really much of an issue as long as you're at least patient for it. From here on out, guys, after all the synchronization data and the data itself is confirmed, you yourself just got Miitomo. So congratulations for making it this far onto the tutorial. So now that we got that out of the way, it's time that I also answer some questions on what you guys have been telling me throughout the channel as to, well, what's going on with Miitomo and all so on and so forth. There have been some people who pretty much told me in the comments that they usually get an unlinked me specific on the Miitomo app that they use. If that happens to you, what you pretty much want to do is pretty much reinstall and do the process again. If you didn't do it correctly, it's because you got the unlinked version. And this is a very common type of question that a lot of people have been asking me, and that is if you can get Miitomo iOS or Apple specifically. The short answer to that is plausible. Technically, you cannot get it at the same time you can. Kaeru Patcher pretty much is not designed for you to get Miitomo in Apple. The only way you could specifically get it is a method that I really do not recommend. Personally, because I'm not an Apple user, I would say it's pretty much best to get an Android. But if you're an Apple user, the best way you can get Miitomo is by simply having to jailbreak your phone, which again isn't recommended. If you guys don't know what jailbreaking is, it's sort of like hacking your phone. Think of it as like you're doing a modded version on a Switch. You're basically doing a homebrew Wii or something like that. I don't know if it's the same thing for Apple, but the only reason I say it's not recommended is because usually you can lose a lot of your progress and data on your phone. So I would really recommend don't use Apple and use Android for this. Next up is going to be another common issue that a lot of people receive with getting Miitomo. And this is actually going to include some segments into it because a lot of people tend to specifically say that they have an errors occurred in Miitomo app. They're all pretty much going to be the same number, error code and everything, but they all have different meanings. One of them would be that if you get an error in the start of the loading screen, or you get an error that automatically brings you back into the loading screen. This type of error is actually meant to do updates. For a lot of you guys who don't know what I mean, the only developers who actually have saved this app is the Kaeru Patcher team. Normally, they do have a Discord server based on all the information when it comes to updates. So whenever things like this occur, it's because Miitomo is currently making updates on the app, which usually takes about a few hours and possibly days to pretty much fix. Last time we had an issue like this where pretty much we couldn't use Miitomo for 2 weeks because it was a huge ass update. And most of the time, Miitomo is trying to have the budget to keep Miitomo going. And you guys already know how Nintendo is. They are a very expensive company. They're all about money. This is pretty much Miitomo, guys. And Miitomo used to be a Nintendo app. So of course it's gonna take a lot of money to keep Miitomo going. The next issues occurred, it usually happens where you're already in the loading screen, where it just immediately pops out the first thing you enter it, or when you're like in the clothing section. Normally these types of errors are actually nothing to worry about. All you just have to do is press OK and you're all good. Will there ever be a version for Apple users to download Miitomo? Unfortunately, I do not know about that specific question. Keep in mind, as I said, you cannot get Miitomo in Apples, but as of right now with updates, I haven't been told specifically if Miitomo will ever be used in Apples. It is actually considered a idea though, with people from the developers have said that they might try to do. Next up is pretty much another thing where it's the same thing where it gives you an error, where if you want to share an answer or a question of the day or specifically those types of features, those are pretty much something you would want to ignore because they don't really fully function. You can't do like the style central, me psychic central like you would used to do in the original parts of Miitomo when it used to be the thing. But the good thing about it is that at least Kaeru Patcher got Miitomo to be revived. So even if there's like a couple of features that can't possibly work, I know for a fact that the Nintendo Link accounts, which is one common another problem actually that a lot of people would say. Keep in mind, you cannot use your Nintendo Link accounts. The only way to save your file is using a Kaeru Patcher account, which is explained in the tutorial that I said a while ago. Now, if you guys have any other questions that you would like to say, of course, leave that below in the comments here in this video. Of course, this is going to conclude today's video. So if you guys have made it here into the end, congratulations on getting Miitomo. And, well, yeah, fully understanding the questions and the answers onto, well, when it comes to Miitomo. Yeah, if there's any other questions that you'd like to say, please put them below in the comments. Make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications, smash the like button. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you on to the next video.